What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 5th episode of the Nothin Show, powered by Tints R Us. Do you need top quality, heat-blocking ceramic tints for your car, but you don't really want to pay top price for them?
Honestly, that's the boat I was in for a few summers, just going back to back, and the heat starts bearing on you, and every time I'm like, okay, it's time to make the move and upgrade, and I started shopping around, and the price range I was looking to spend would never get me what I really needed.
And just like your story, there's a lot of similar stories out there, but luckily for you and for all of our listeners, if you go to Tints R Us and tell them that your friends at Nothing But Net sent you, they'll hook you up with a great price, and you'll get top quality tints for it. You can reach out to them at their website, www.tintsrusSFL, or on Instagram at tintsrusSFL. I'm your co-host, Jamar.
And I'm your co-host, Michael. And on today's episode, we'll be discussing the WNBA pay gap, Manu Ginobli retiring and the impact he had on the game, and the NBA now allowing players to wear whatever colorway shoes they want, regardless of the color of their jerseys.
Not to mention that we have an awesome guest interview with Dylan Frye, so let's hop right into it.
Let's get it.
This past week has seen the retirement of a couple different NBA stars. The first one we're going to discuss is Manu Ginobli. Ginobli was a 5-time champion with the San Antonio Spurs after being a second-round 57 pick. He revolutionized the game, bringing the Euro step to the game of basketball, which is almost in every guard or wing's repertoire, even centers nowadays. He helped expand the game internationally, and not to mention, he did beat the United States in the Olympics as well, which is not done often, quite at all. So, what lasting memory will last with you from Manu Ginobli?
So if we're talking like older Manu, it was him dunking on the Heat with a broken leg. Talking like younger, honestly, it's just the whole flow going and just seeing
right, actual hair.
Yeah, just the Euro stuff because it's gorgeous. Just to freeze the defender. I always liked it. Again, I'm also a Dwayne Wade fan, so
he tries to do it, but he can't really play basketball, so it's like it's very awkward. But
it works every time for some reason. The fake pass, but Manu he was just so smooth to watch, and as a lefty, and I really think he did help open up like the international game of basketball as well, showing like, look, he's the 57th pick. Like normally a 57 pick, whether international or domestic, after 2 years, you never hear the name again.
And one of the most amazing things about Manu is, like, he was the 6th man his entire career.
Yeah.
But he had the skills to be a starter. And there's no doubt in my mind he could have been a starter in the NBA. But he didn't. And he sacrificed that role not for himself, but for his team. He was a true winner that wasn't really concerned about individual accolades and individual success, but team success.
Yeah.
And that is just a great example for everyone in any aspect of life, really.
Yeah, Manu Ginobli really is, like, for anyone trying to get into the game of basketball and trying to get, like, up to the next level, like, he, I think, is a great example. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're leaving high school and it's star-wise, whether you're leaving college and it's ranking or draft pick-wise, just keep working towards your craft. And he knew, like, I'm not starting, but fourth quarter, clutch time, I'm in.
He's in.
Yeah, and he was a stabilizer.
Always played hard whenever he was in the game, no matter the minutes, no matter the time. It could be garbage time. It could be, starting. He always played hard.
Up 20, down energy. 20, 3-point game. Always. Like, there was never a Manu that was, like, a slouching, like, or you see him on the bench, like, with some players, like, pouting. It was, no, like, coach, pop, whatever you need from me.
Yep, and he bought into the system, and he was a great example for other players, and still is to this day.
Yeah, definitely a Hall of Famer. 5 rings,
Easily.
1 gold medal. What he did for the international game is really the biggest thing, and just opening up everyone's eyes to his play style. His play style really is what, like, the NBA is now. Threes, Euros, layups.
Yep, easily. Another NBA player that retired this past week was David West. David was another player who fought hard and played hard his entire career, and he spent most of his career pursuing a ring. Mm-hmm. He even went, it was ironic because he went to the Spurs to win a ring and then lost to the Warriors, and then he went to the Warriors to a ring and lost. I believe that was the year that they lost to the Cavs, but he did end up winning a ring with the Warriors, and it's just another story of success. And a lot of people think if you're not going to be one of the greatest of all times, then why are you pursuing rings? But to some, it's just an achievement that they want to fulfill because it's the highest achievement that you can get in the game of basketball besides the Olympics. So just another great story, and he retired as well.
Yeah, because you can never take the ring off the finger. Like, no matter what, it's like, oh, you played so many minutes. I got the ring. I played when they needed me to. And he was pivotal down the stretch because he was like a stretch four and that wasn't scared to like go inside and bully. And we saw him play with Chris Paul. We saw him play with Paul George.
Yeah,
with
he got to play with some all-time greats.
Yeah.
Steph.
Him on the Pacers, he was a problem. He was a problem for the Heat. So at that point, I wasn't too big of a fan of his, but it was never like I always thought he was good. Yeah, it was just like oh man, he's going. It's one of those nights again, like high teens, low 20s, like 7-10 boards, but definitely a player that's going to be missed.
Yeah, both of those players will be missed, and it's a different age in the NBA.
Dating back for the past few years, there's always been the discussion between the pay gap between the WNBA and the NBA. Now, this summer it's really popped off again with players like Kelsey Plum going to Twitter and voicing out about it. And more recently, you have players like Skylar Diggins critiquing Harrison Barnes' contract. And then you have fake quotes being put out for Brittany Griner as she's critiquing Tyler Johnson. And then she even said, I don't know who that is. I don't know how much he makes. That's not something I say. I think we have to get paid more, but I'm not looking down upon any of their players. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, just this summer, it's really been big news.
Yeah, the WNBA pay gap between them and the NBA is always an interesting topic because a lot of people automatically assume, oh, the WNBA players are asking for multi-million-dollar deals, and why are they asking that when their arenas are not sold out and they're not making the same money that men are? But many people don't realize that's actually not what they're asking for. NBA players make approximately 50% of the CBA. That's all of the revenue that the league makes. NBA players combined make approximately 50% of what the league makes. WNBA players, it's closer to 30%.
Yeah, and that's like going a little high too.
What is it?
They're saying I've heard people say like 20 to 30 and like
so between 20 and 30.
It's bad.
So it's not that the WNBA players are asking for multi-million-dollar deals. They're asking to get paid the exact same amount of the NBA players. No, they're just asking for fair pay. They don't get any revenue based off their jersey sales. They don't get any revenue based off becoming an all-star or anything like that. So you have Maya Moore coming out saying, hey, I've had a top-selling jersey and I haven't seen a dime from it.
Yeah.
We're making all this money for other people, but we're not getting the same share. And that's really what they're asking. They're asking to increase the money that they're making from the CBA.
Yeah. And a lot of these college players, dating back to when they were college players, you know their names. Like, it's not like, oh, so-and-so on whatever team had one game. It's no, you know Maya Moore's name, you know Elena Delle Donne's name, you know Brittany Griner's name, you know Kelsey Plum.
Right.
And it's not that they don't need the WNBA to like publicize them. Like, they publicize themselves enough throughout their 3 to 4 years in college, and then as they go on to play in the WNBA.
Right. And referring back to the whole comparison between the players, no WNBA players can't dunk. No, they're not 6'5", most of them. No, they can't. They're not as athletic and they can't go as fast and things like that, but they're very skilled players. And they can really play. Their fundamentals are neck and neck with the guys, if you believe it or not.
Yeah, I'd even say a lot of them are even more just because when you don't have like the size and athleticism to fall back on
you have
automatically,
to make up for it. Right.
And I remember when Draymond Green came out and said that he like watched WNBA players for the fundamentals, everyone was clowning it and thought he was like trolling. He's like, no, they're really good. You watch their footwork, you put a guy in the post with one of them, like you'll be lost. They'll have you spinning circles.
And I forget which WNBA player it was who came out and said, no, I won't challenge a guy to a one-on-one because they're just going to try to get physical and foul me and end up hurting me, and she has a lot more to lose.
Yeah, they can't gain anything from whoever's DMing them or adding them on Twitter, play me. There's nothing to gain for them. All they have is to lose.
Right.
Like, I remember when Brittany Griner said she could beat DeMarcus Cousins, I thought that was pretty funny.
That's a stretch.
No,
Let's be honest.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like that people were trying to act as though she was talking now on NBA players, like to tell Johnson, like, why does he make so much money, yada yada, and she was like, I honestly don't know who that is, like, not taking a shot or anything, like, they just want their voices heard. They don't need random people just trolling them and making them look worse, or having people being like, no, we played 34 games, but I deserve so many millions of dollars for playing the minimal amount.
Right.
And that was the thing with Skylar Diggins when she was talking about why does Harrison Barnes make more. All right, so let's say she plays 34 games. If you gave her Harrison Barnes' contract this year, which is $24.7 million, she'd be making just over $725,000 per game.
Right.
That's
which again goes to my point. They're not asking for the equal pay because that would just be absurd.
They want equal pay in their own rights through the CBA. They want, I'm earning this money, I want it in my pockets, spread evenly as it is spread throughout the men's pockets.
Exactly. And with that said, there have been improvements not only to the game itself, but to the promotion and publication of the game as well. Efforts have been made by the NBA and NBA stars to try to promote the WNBA more to get more viewers, more fans to the game, etc. So the sport is also growing, and I do feel like as the sport grows, so will their pay.
Yeah, the one thing that I think will be the biggest is the WNBA is the greatest women's basketball league in the world, yes, but they're not the highest paying. Right. So a lot of players in the offseason go and play overseas. All it takes is like 3 or 4 rookies and a few veterans to go over and start playing in one league, and the WNBA will be eradicated.
If you take the product away, they'll have no, have no option but to pay.
Yeah, they can't just keep resting on their laurels. Like, they got to realize, I'm going to pay you or you're leaving, and I think they definitely have to get paid.
Right, but I do feel as though in the near future there will be improvements to the amount that WNBA players are paid.
Hopefully. I really do hope so. Are you looking to sell your house quickly for cash in return? Or maybe you're looking for a low monthly, low cash down lease on the dream car you've wanted forever. Regardless of the scenario, Newman Investment can help you out.
They're really versatile. They even do hurricane shutters and fencing for both commercial and residential properties.
Not to mention that every property will be considered, regardless of the situation, and the opportunities are endless.
Newman Investments is definitely for the people. They give cash referrals for all of their business services, so be sure to contact them for whatever your need is. You can reach out to them either by their website, www.newmaninvestment.com, or by calling them at 305-209-8721. Our guest on this episode of the Nothin But Net Show is Dylan Frye. Frye was selected for Miami-Dade's all-county team 3 times during his high school years and won a state championship during his time at Miami Christian High School. He went on to play Division I college basketball for Bowling Green, where he was selected to be on the All-MAC freshman team. He's going into his 3rd season this year and is determined to make it his best one yet. Dylan, welcome to the show.
And thank you for having me.
First, I wanted to ask you, obviously you've had so many accomplishments throughout your career. Can you, recap your basketball story? How have you gotten to this point where you're at now?
Yeah, for sure. Well, starting off when I was really young, probably 5 and 6, almost 7, I was actually playing football, tackle football, a little peewee football, and I ended up breaking my arm. So that's when my parents just decided to put me in basketball, and I started playing rec ball at YMCA or Pembroke Pines League with my friends and stuff, and then it kind of I just developed this love for the game. So I joined this AAU team with the Patriots and with all my best friends, and I basically, that's how I grew up, just playing AAU ball with all my friends, a bunch of us, and I really just developed my game, and I got this mentality that I want to make it to the next level that young, and I'm so I got to work every day at it. So then went to middle school at Hialeah Gardens middle school. My mom works there, so she pretty much just put me in that middle school. 6th grade year, I was the smallest kid, but since I was playing so young, I was really experienced, so I could shoot the ball really good, I could handle it. I was just really little. And then 7th and 8th grade year, I grew a little bit, and then that's when people started to see, wow, this kid's really good. And then so after middle school, I ended up ninth grade year, I went to Hialeah Gardens High School. I came off the bench. I played on varsity my freshman year. I came off the bench. I backed up Luigi, and no, I didn't like that position. I didn't like coming off the bench. I knew, like, in my mind, I knew I was better than him, and like things like that. So it just pushed me to work that much harder just to start on my high school team. But sophomore year came around, things happened with the coaching staff, so I ended up transferring to Matter Academy, and we did pretty good. We ended up losing. I averaged like 20 points. We lost to Norland, I think, in the regional first round of regional, I think, or second round, and
Didn't we all?
yeah, exactly.
We lost to them too.
Yeah, we should have won that game, but it's all right. And that year I got first team all day, and it showed that like hard work really does pay off, just like that small award. But it did feel good, like just getting that award. And then junior year, ended up transferring again, same thing. Something happened with the coaching staff at whatever, something happened, and ended up transferring to Miami Christian. And this team was loaded. We had people that could jump, people that could shoot, people that could handle. Everybody's pushing. We all played D, and it was fun. And we ended up making it to states, and we won state. And then that year, I made Miami Dade all date again, and I think I made like all state something, but I don't really remember. And then after that year, I ended up actually transferring back to Matter Academy for my senior year because I wanted to play with my coach for Matter, and I wanted to win a state championship for him, and we didn't accomplish that. So that year was pretty much a disappointment. I still averaged like 20 like throughout my last 3 years of high school, and made all date again, and that's basically high school. And then well, let me just go back a little bit. Junior year is when I first got my first offer, and then in AAU I played with Nike South Beach, and I got like 14 more offers. And then so after junior year, I took like my visits, whatever. I took one visit to Bowling Green, and I loved it, and I decided to commit. So I was already committed by my senior year. And then after senior year, I came up to BG, and it was just perfect, dream come true.
Yeah.
You want me to talk about my college years too, or no?
So at first, we do want to ask, like, what were some of the other offers, and how is that, like, recruiting process, being recruited by D1 schools and going out to different parts of the country to go visit campuses and coaching?
For sure. At first, recruiting is really good. Like, when you get your first offer, it's just like a relief. Especially, it's like you really like the hard work really paid off. And then when more and more schools start hitting you up and you keep getting offers feel amazing when they offer you. But the tough part is like trying to find out who's real and who's not, because they're all of them are trying to boost your head up to try to get you to come to their school, and then they're just hitting you up every day, all these schools, and it does get tiring, but you do boil it down to like the real ones, who you think is gonna make you better, who's gonna tell you the truth, not lie to you and just boost your head up just so you can go to that school. And then that's how I decided to choose BG. And I only went on one visit, like I said. So I went to BG, and I just loved it, everything about it. So I committed on the spot.
It was love at first sight. That's awesome. So why don't you talk a little bit about your time at Bowling Green? How's that been? What are some memorable moments you've already had? You can go ahead and talk about it.
Oh, for sure. So freshman year, when I first got here, just like first couple days, I was struggling, I just wasn't used to like college ball, college speed or whatever. But I knew I was just as good as the guys. It wasn't just kicking in. And then first couple games, I started the first game because a couple guys on the team were in trouble. So I started the first game, shot like 1 for 7 or something. But I felt good playing, just the shots weren't falling. And the next couple games I played a little bit, didn't play that much. And then finally, one of the games I started playing good, and then I started playing better and better, and I scoring, showing the coaches that I'm one of the best players, and I ended up starting halfway through the year to end my freshman year, and then I ended up making all back freshman team. And then junior year, I started the entire year. Sophomore year, I started the whole year. Had a lot of ups and a lot of downs. Had some injuries. It was a tough year for me, but it showed me just a lot of things. I learned so much through my sophomore year, and I realized so much, and I've learned, and I'm such a better person just in everything, basketball and life, and now I'm just ready to take on my junior year. It's got to be my best year yet.
So, looking forward, what are the plans for the future? Junior is about to start, so you have this year and you have next year to continue to grow and show everyone, hey, this is the growth I've been doing since I was 6 or 7. What is the goal and?
Well, for me, this year and next year, I'm trying to like do as best I can with my team and myself, and obviously after these 2 years, I want to make it to the NBA, and if not the NBA, then I want to go overseas, and then that's basically my goal. And after basketball, like my life, I want to be a basketball coach for college, so that's pretty much what I want to do.
Nah, that's cool, and I'm sure you're already making connections with that too.
Yeah, exactly, I am.
So I was gonna ask you, what is your favorite memory at each level playing the game? So not like going back to when you were 6 or 7, but what's your favorite high school memory, your favorite memory so far in college, and even your favorite AAU memory?
Okay, I like that. So my favorite high school memory was winning the state championship, and just the feeling like of relief, like I finally won a state championship. That's what everyone talks about, is like how hard it is to win a state championship. So for high school, for me, was winning a state championship. Like that was the biggest thing that's happened. In college, I say my favorite moment is when I hit the buzzer beater versus Florida Gulf Coast, because
That was dope.
Yeah, that was money. I think it was like money.
Yeah, exactly. Like especially because they didn't never offer me, they just always had interest, and then just hitting the game winner on them was like, it just felt amazing. And also because like Malcolm Nicholas had died like that week, and it was pretty much us playing for him, and it was just amazing just hitting that shot for him, you know.
Yeah, that must have been like in your face too, like since they never offered you.
Yeah, exactly.
And AAU, your favorite AAU memory?
Favorite AAU memory? Honestly, like AAU, nothing like has to do with basketball. Just like building relationships, like with my friends, just in the hotels, messing around, like playing ball, and like it has nothing to do with winning or losing. AAU is just more about like building that bond and relationship with my brothers.
Nah, that's dope.
So
for sure.
Like growing up, like when I was in high school, I actually saw some of your videos on YouTube. You were being called the next White Chocolate and White Chocolate Junior. How cool is that? Like being able to type your name in on YouTube and see videos like over 100,000. You won't even right now it's like 3.2 at the moment.
One had like 105,000.
Yeah, it was dope.
Yeah, man, it's honestly pretty cool, man. Just like all the video guys like Hoop Journey, like Pace and Chase, Hoop Diamonds, just putting your name out there and just like showing your game to the world. Like people across the country are little kids are hitting me up like, man, I look up to you, and just like things like that, just being an inspiration to kids, and it's all through like the video guys who put it out there for them, and it's a blessing, you know.
That's so awesome. Yeah, it's a blessing for real. Well, thank you again for joining the show, man. Thank you for sharing a little bit about your journey. It was awesome speaking with you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Dylan, thank you. We'll be watching it throughout the season. Either I gotta go find the stream somewhere, or when you guys are on national television, you'll definitely we'll definitely be out here.
For sure, man. You guys gotta watch. Tune in.
Yeah, definitely will, man. We wish you nothing but the best for the season and for the rest of your basketball journey. Thank you again.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This week's question from the fans comes to us from Jaqueen Porter. First of all, we'd like to thank you for not only watching the show and showing love, but also reaching out and the interaction. That is truly what we do love, and that's what makes us want to keep doing the show every episode. And the question he asked, we picked because it was definitely something different, not something we haven't ever gotten, and it wasn't a basketball-related question. He actually asked what got us started doing the podcast, and for our new fans out there that didn't know, this actually started as a podcast. We still do drop podcasts with every episode, and you'll be able to find the link in our bio on Twitter, either our individuals or the Nothin But Net Instagram as well.
Yeah, so we did start as a podcast originally, just a podcast, and how it actually started was, well, Mikey's one of my best friends, and don't flatter yourself. But we just always talk basketball, and we always had different opinions, and we always argue. That's honestly how it started. Like this summer, it got to a point where every single day we'd be arguing about something basketball related, or we even, like, during the season, my girl would get on me because I would FaceTime this guy after a game, and she would be like, "Oh, pay me more attention," but I would be arguing about the game, something that happened in the game with him.
Yeah.
So it just got to a point where I was like, let's record it. Like, why not? Let's publish it. Let's see what happens. And so, just being real transparent, that's exactly what we did. And it was definitely fun to do because with the first episode, we experienced that it really wasn't work. It was more so fun, and it wasn't hard for us to do either. Like, we just pressed record, and we just had natural conversations, and that's kind of how we got started.
Yeah, and I honestly really do love it. I look forward to recording day just because it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do today. It helps find, like, a structure, and honestly, it's like we go through trials and tribulations trying to record and everything.
Every episode.
Every time.
Every episode something happens.
Yeah, and it's definitely fun because we also talk about, like, the topics throughout the week, but we don't exactly, like, dive into it. So sitting down and getting, like, the actual information, like, you're getting our live reactions and our live takes.
So now what we've started doing is, rather than, discussing right on the scenes, we'll text each other something that happened. For example, the retirements. We'll text each other and say, "Oh, Manu just retired. We're touching that on the podcast." Yeah. And we'll say things like that. So we gather our thoughts, and then once we come here and record, you guys are seeing raw and uncut, unedited versions of, how we feel and what's actually being poured out in our opinion. So that it's real. Everything is authentic, and that's how we got started. Thank you so much, Joaquin, for the question, and we hope that you enjoy this episode and the ones to come.
Yeah, thank you again. Up until now, the NBA has always required players to match their shoes to their jerseys. It seems a little bit weird, but it's always been a requirement, excluding on specialty days such as Christmas, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so on and so forth. This week they have announced that the colorways no longer matter, and they will allow players to wear whatever shoes and whatever colors they want regardless of the jerseys. We both think this is huge. What do you think is your biggest take back from this?
Honestly, I always thought that the rule in general was kind of strange, like you mentioned. We see players now being a lot more outspoken, or not outspoken, but outwearing, I guess, when it comes to their fashion and different trends that are going on. We saw J.R. Smith wear a Supreme shooting sleeve, and we see players like having different shoe collections. We see LeBron doing a collection with Kith and things like that. So it's definitely an age where fashion statements are being made by numerous players. James Harden, Russell Westbrook, the list goes on and on. So I think it's great timing for the league, but I also just didn't understand why it was a rule. Like, I don't understand why, if someone's jersey colors are red and black, that they can't wear yellow shoes. I mean, they're still going to play. They're still going to play the same, exactly. But I guess maybe for a marketing or promotion standpoint, that was the reason for the rule, which is the only thing that I can think of that would be a reason for the rule. But I agree with their changing of the rule. I am excited to see the new colorways and everything that's debuted from NBA players this season. What about you?
Yeah, same thing. Honestly, I didn't know it was a rule for a while. I thought it was just players wanting to match what they're wearing. And then growing up, I'd watch like Kicks on Court and Sneak Peek. And that's when like I really heard about it. It was like, I forgot who was speaking, and they said that since they're playing on the Bulls, they're really happy because then they could wear red and black. And in my head, I'm like, I mean, you can wear red and black like whenever you want. And then as they continue to go into it, I was like, oh, wow. So it's only like certain events and certain times. Rule. Yeah. Like Nick Young wore Yeezys, and he could only wear them for a half. He said they were a little bit uncomfortable, and he was like, I really don't want the fine. And sometimes players are willing to take the fine. I think it's really big.
We saw LeBron back in his Miami days get fined for wearing a carbon fiber mask instead of the the standard.
Was clean, boy.
He dropped 61 in that game,
That is
of course,
clean.
but we've seen players get fined for things like that before. So, like I said earlier, I don't really understand why, but I'm glad that the NBA has reversed this rule, and I'm excited to see what comes this season.
Yeah, I'm honestly really excited for the kicks on court.
Let me ask you, who do you think brings out the coldest colorway this season?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I want to say I'm leaning towards LeBron because he's in LA. Now, one person that you gotta look out for because he always has heat on his feet is PJ Tucker.
Facts.
No lie, that man got shoes, boy.
His shoe closet, and
oh my god,
yeah,
it's wild. And I'm pretty sure Nike and Adidas all love this because now you get Kyrie Irving gets to wear all of his sneakers.
He has so many different flavors.
Yeah. And now you get LeBron James,
Steph,
Harden.
Colorway, so it'll be an exciting time for shoes this NBA season.
Russell Westbrook gonna go off.
I don't really like his shoes though.
They're ugly, but he'll figure out something.
Yeah,
he's gonna have the most out there
he's
colorways, and I'm ready for that.
He's probably the fashion king of the NBA.
Oh yeah,
in terms of outfits and things.
Russ got the drip.
Yeah,
Russ got the drip.
But we're both looking forward to see what NBA players bring out this season.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you to you all for being so involved and for all the feedback that you guys give us. We really do love hearing back from you guys and hearing the answers whenever we pose a question to you guys as well. Last episode's question to the fans was about your creation of a Dream 5 pickup team, where one had to be currently in high school, one had to be currently in college, two had to be in the NBA, and one had to be a star. I wanted to say a quick shout out to Tim Sada. Thank you for including me in your 5. And we would definitely ball out. So this episode's question to the fans is, what is your favorite high school mixtape? I'll pose the question to you. Who is your favorite highlight tape from high school?
So first, let me start off by saying shout out Dylan Frye because he had some fire high school mixtapes.
True, of course.
But I do have to go with John Wall. What he was doing in high school was just... it was otherworldly, man. Like it just wasn't fair. He was doing everything, the dunks, the blocks, the passes. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, the John Wall was definitely nice.
Ooh, John Wall got it.
My favorite high school highlight tape has to be Seventh Woods. That kid was such a freak, like just an athletic freak in high school.
From such an age,
I remember,
so young.
I believe he's around my age too, and I remember when his first highlight tape really blew up. I remember being with my friends and watching it together on YouTube, and we were just like, is this real? We watched it 2 or 3 times, like back to back, and just seeing that was so awesome. But unfortunately, he's had different roadblocks in his career to this day, but he's at North Carolina, and hopefully, better days are coming for him for his basketball career.
Yeah, he's still young. And the craziest part about those mixtapes is it was like, oh yeah, age 13, age 14, is like,
yeah,
huh?
That's the craziest thing. Like, just seeing them at such a young age playing like that, it's really watching a man amongst boys.
Yeah.
So those are our favorite high school tapes. We're looking forward to hearing about yours. This concludes the 5th episode of the Nothin But Net Show and the first episode officially as the Nothin But Net Show. Thank you all again for being a part of our journey. We've had a lot of changes, and we have a lot of changes coming in the future. All things to make the experience better for you, our fans, and our viewers, and we really do appreciate all that you guys do for us. Thank you to Dylan Frye. Shout out to him for being our guest on this show. We wish you nothing but the best, and hopefully Bowling Green has a great season this year.
Yeah, thank you all again. We, again, really do love the support and everything, and that's what makes us want to continue to make this show better. We're taking it upon this visual platform. We're trying to do everything we can to make it smoother, easier for you guys. And we're shortening up some episodes. And as we know, the NBA season's coming up, so we'll be experiencing changes then as well. So that's when we really do want the feedback is how do you guys want your episodes to be coming? And again, thank you, Dylan Frye. It was a great interview. We really did appreciate you taking time out of your day. And trust me, we'll be watching you at Bowling Green. We hope our fans do too. You guys gotta catch him. He is must-see TV.
Right. Make sure you guys check out Tint or Us if you guys need car tinting, or if you need just about anything else, make sure to check out Newman Investments. And as always, we encourage you guys to give us feedback and to message us about what you liked about the show, what you may not have liked about the show, and that helps us to grow and get better for you guys. So thank you all again, and see you next time.
Peace.